kidding.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Off the Bench podcast. I'm here with my co-hosts Trevor Henson and Adam Kent. We're going to be going over the NFC North today. We're going to start off with our question of the day from Ty Lozano. Brings us one. If a team was to go from first to worst, or worst to first, actually, if the team was to go from worst to first out of any division, what team would that be? And we're going to let Adam start off with that question today.
I'm going to go with the non-easy answer. I think the easy answer on this one is obviously the New York Jets having Aaron Rodgers and a good defense. But I'm going to go with another one that I think could happen is the Atlanta Falcons. The NFC South, just like the AFC South that we previewed, is pretty weak division. It might even be weaker. I think last year the Bucs actually were 8-9 and got into the playoffs. Falcons were 7-10, rookie quarterback last year. I think this year they'll definitely be improved, and obviously we talked about him last night, Bijan Robinson. I mean, this guy is going to be a playmaker. And Kyle Pitts was nothing last year. Kyle Pitts bounces back and plays like he should. I think they could win that division because
I like it.
No one really stands out to me.
Okay, I like that answer. What about you, Trevor? You're muted.
Sorry, I just did that just in case some background gets picked up. But yeah, I'd end up going with the Jets. Falcons are a very good pick too, but the Jets were the worst in their division. And even though they didn't have a bad record, they actually did pretty good at the beginning of the year last year, and then they just lost like 6 games straight last year. But they had a 7-10 record to end. But yeah, I think they're the most improved. I mean, bringing in Aaron Rodgers, they didn't have a bad team last year. They suffered on the quarterback side and a few other areas, and from what they've done, they got Breece Hall coming back, Aaron Rodgers, what they've built around him, and he's going to be their passer moving forward. So I see them making the biggest impact as far as a division goes from worst to best. But also I agree with Adam as well. The Falcons are a very big bet as well. Even though their divisions, it's almost like Panthers, Saints, them, and the Buccaneers almost have like the exact same record, and they only had like one game more. I think they were like 8-9, and the rest of the division was like 7-10.
Yep.
They're all tied, so it's like they're all pretty. And if you think about them, they all seem like they're kind of even. But I think this year the Falcons probably could come on top there easily. They have a pretty well built around team. And then, yeah, Bijan Robinson's pretty exciting to get to watch him and see what he can do. I have high hopes for him. He's a rookie, but we'll see.
I like it.
But yeah.
Me personally, I'm going to throw another curveball in, and I'm going to go with the Texans. I think that C.J. Stroud out of the rookie quarterbacks is the most pro-ready. I think with the new coach, with him and Dameon Pierce, they can make some noise this year and sneak in maybe – I think they might be a wild card team. I had that, when we talked about that division, I had them coming in as a wild card, but who knows? Based on the question, they might win the division. You never know. So that's where I'm going with that one. Let's go ahead and start the NFC North, and we're going to start with Adam discussing the Green Bay Packers.
All right, let me pull up the correct notes here.
I was not expecting that to be the first one.
All right, so the Green Bay Packers, I think they are going to struggle mightily. I'm not a Jordan Love fan one bit. He's only played a little bit, so it wasn't a huge sample size. But even in college, I was never a huge fan. I felt like when they made the pick, I think he was 24th overall. They really reached for him just to kind of piss Aaron Rodgers off or light a fire under him or both. I don't see him being a long-term answer there. I think he'll play this year there, and they will draft a quarterback or who knows, maybe sign a veteran in the offseason. So I think the Packers are going to go 5-12 this year and finish last in the North.
Gotcha. All right, Trevor, what do you have to add on the Packers?
Yeah, same. I think I have them pretty much at like a 6-11 record. I pretty much have them right there with the Bears. The question is Jordan Love actually good? He's only really played one full game in like 3 years with the Packers. He's pretty much unproven. Luckily, they do have a running game that's pretty dangerous with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And which they kind of have one of the best pass rushes in the division as far as defense goes. Their defense is just all around standard. They're middle of the pack defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so they got some hopeful thing. They're not like a completely team like that's. They're young in a lot of areas on the offense besides the running backs, but they're not completely rebuilding. So they could prove us wrong. We'll see. This division's kind of can be besides the Lions, in my opinion, and all the other three teams are pretty open. I think anything could happen.
I agree.
So hopefully they can grow together. It might, but I don't think this is the year. I think it's going to take some time. I don't expect them coming out and being elite at all.
Okay. So we've seen the Green Bay Packers have the same quarterback for, what was it, 17 or 18 years?
Yeah.
Regardless, I am 28. So when I took interest into football, Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback, and he was my whole entire way through school. So, that's all I'm used to seeing. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing them have a different guy, under center. Jordan Love, from interviews and a couple podcasts I was watching today, some people really do think he is the guy. Like, they think that he's going to be the one that takes over. And there's a couple people saying that they were going to win the division and go to the playoffs. Me personally, I don't think that's the case. I think that they're going to be right there with the Bears, like Trevor was saying, as the bottom dwellers of the division. But I think it'll be interesting. I really do. We're going to go ahead and move on now to the Chicago Bears, and we're going to have Trevor touch on them first.
Well, they're coming off a 3-14 record, so in my opinion, there's nowhere to go but up. Hopefully, they did make some significant improvements this offseason. Doing the whole trade thing. They did add DJ Moore, added some O-line players, including a rookie tackle. Their defense was ranked pretty much last, from what I remember.
Yes.
So they got a lot of work to do there. I know it should be better. They did add some new veterans. I haven't kept up with what players exactly. I just know that they have added some people just with all the changes they're doing. So they will be better this year. They're kind of like the Texans. I really relate them to the Texans in a way. And it's all going to also depend on Justin Fields to see what he does. And we'll see. I mean, I like Justin Fields, but his passing's always been not one of my favorite things to watch. He can run, he uses legs, but I'm curious to see, even now that he's got some better weapons than what the previous years have had with the Bears. So I'm seeing if he's really going to up his game on the passing side, start proving some of these doubters wrong. Even though he did do really good in fantasy last year, but that's because their team was just horrific all around.
Yes.
So we'll see. Who knows? But I think same as they're with what they've done so far, though. They're maybe a year or two, and I think maybe they could get back into this division and be on top. But we'll see.
I like it. Adam, what do you have to add about the Chicago Bears?
I'm a little higher on the Bears, I think, than you guys. I think the Bears have the talent to be it. I got them at 8 and 9. So I mean, nothing great, but I think they'll definitely improve. That's a five game improvement. Justin Fields, I feel like he's scared to throw the ball. Like, he just thinks run first, and if he can just sit there, be calm, and throw the ball, he's got a pretty good arm. I mean, the guy has a cannon. He just has to use it. I mean, he has the weapon, just use it. In college, he had no problem doing it. So I think DJ Moore, like, he'll trust DJ Moore. He hasn't really had that receiver he can trust. Get DJ Moore the ball. They have Herbert. They signed Foreman as the other running back, so that's a pretty nice pickup. Foreman was pretty good in a lot of weeks last year in fantasy. And then they signed TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edwards. So I think their linebacker core is going to be improved because, I think their defense was dead last year. So they're definitely going to be a little bit improved. And I think the Packers, being the worst team, that's a few wins than they had last year. So I'll go 8 and 9 for the Bears.
Okay. I like that. I really, really like Deontay Foreman myself. I had him on my fantasy team last year. The guy was a stud. I mean, he's a true workhorse back if you need him to be. I also had DJ Moore. He let me down a couple of weeks, but he is very consistent, and with the right quarterback, he can be an actual wide receiver one. So I think that the Chicago Bears went out and signed weapons for Justin Fields to try to make that leap. I'm sitting kind of in the middle of both of you. I'll have them as a 6-11 team. I don't think they're going to be improving tremendously, but I do think we'll see, they will win twice as many games this year as they did last year. So let's move on now to Trevor and the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, well, I don't think this team's going to have the record they had last year, and it was even very close last year how they even came out with a record of 13-4. So
Yes.
I think they're more. I think they do have the offense to still fight and win some games. I have them. I'm gonna give them like a 9-8 record this year. But they've they haven't really done much in the off season. They kind of kept who they've got. I know they're gonna have a new defensive coordinator, which is where they lack. They were one of the worst defenses right there with the Lions. They were just, I think, right under the Lions, honestly. Yeah. And then, but they did add a new defensive coordinators, which may help. You never know. But I think what they're going through right now is they're trying to overcome a massive salary gap. So like you're seeing Dalvin Cook gone, Thielen, Eric Kendricks, Zadarius Smith, going to the Bears. I think, yeah, he went to the Bears, right? With the trade, or was it? I think so. So they took some significant losses and they didn't really bring anybody like the Lions, which we'll get more into, but they've like completely rebounded whatever they lost, in my opinion, and a lot better. So I don't know. It's a toss up. I feel like I'm being generous giving them a 9-8 record, but it's just because I don't like to disrespect Justin Jefferson. He's an amazing receiver. Kirk Cousins, he's very on and off. I mean, he does decent in fantasy, but he's never just been consistent. So so we'll see. I don't really like talking to them very much right now because they're not very interesting to me right now.
I feel you. So you got them sitting at 9-8. Adam, what do you have to add on the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm right around there as well. I'm gonna say 10-7, but I'm not gonna be surprised if they go worse than that. It's very hard for me even as well to go against Jefferson. When they lost Cook, it made me feel a lot more confident as a Lions fan because Cook always would kill Detroit, and he just brought another dimension to the offense. I get they were trying to save cap room, but you got to think they should have kept him one more year. But obviously, Justin Jefferson, he's either 1A or 1B in the NFL in receiver, depending on who else you think maybe would chase. But Jefferson's just a beast. Kirk Cousins, I'm not a huge fan of, but he gets the job done. But I think obviously big game, Kurt usually chokes in the playoffs. So I don't know. I'll go 10-7, but I'm not going to be surprised if they're worse than that.
Okay. I have the Vikings sitting at 9-8, just like Trevor did. I don't think they're going to win 13 games again. But I have a hot take for Justin Jefferson on why he is not the wide receiver one for me. And I have some stats to back it up. I think that he's not going to have the same target share that he has had the past couple of years because of the fact that they drafted Jordan Addison out of USC. And I think that Jordan Addison is going to command more targets than Adam Thielen did. And that will hurt Justin Jefferson's overall value. I don't think people are looking at it like that. I think that they're thinking that he's just going to be the number one and just setting it and forgetting it. But you got to realize that they added talent to that receiving room. And, Jordan Addison's not just going to sit back and just let Justin Jefferson take all the targets. So
I don't know if I agree with that, but because Adam Thielen's been on that team for a while and it's never caused a problem.
That's what I'm saying, though. They're adding to the receiving room with Jordan Addison. Like, they're both going to be on the team now.
Well, Adam Thielen's not on the team.
Jordan Addison is what I'm saying. Like, he's going to command more of a target share than Adam Thielen did. I think he's a better receiver than Adam Thielen was.
Yeah,
that's just my take.
But also, they have a full year of TJ Hawkinson. I mean, they didn't have him for the full year last year. And Hawkinson, I mean, Cousins loved Hawkinson. I feel like I don't know if there's stats to back it up. I haven't looked, but I feel like after Hawkinson came, I think his target share might have dropped just a little bit well.
It did. Hawkinson was a beast for them.
Yeah.
Like, he actually beat me one of the weeks in fantasy because Hawkinson had a monster week.
Yeah.
that's my take on that. I think they are going to be 9-8. That's just my personal hot take. Is I think that he is the wide receiver 3 overall. I would put Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase ahead of him, but that's just me personally. So let's go ahead and move on to the top of the division. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. We're going to let the Michigan native Adam take over for that one for us.
All right. So it's always hard to have confidence in the Detroit Lions. Every time you think they're going to be good, something falls out. Quarterback goes down, receiver's a bust, someone gets arrested, someone gets suspended. But I think the curse is going to be lifted this year. I really do. I believe in Dan Campbell. I think Dan Campbell totally changed the culture in the locker room. This guy, everyone made fun of him. Everybody laughed at him when he came in saying he's going to bite kneecaps and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Now everybody's singing his praise. We bought in as Lions fans because I think that's what we needed. It's what the city's about. It was like the perfect combination for our players, our city. I mean, he just fits right in, hard nosed. He played for us. A lot of people forget that he played for us, and he was well respected. So, but in order to do that, we obviously have to stay healthy. We have the 5th highest paid offense, so obviously we have to be high powered. We were high powered last year, and as we see on your TikTok today, just Jahmyr Gibbs, that guy is going to be a weapon. I mean, this guy can line up in the slot. He can catch out of the backfield. He can do sweeps, tosses. Who knows? They might put him on a punt return if they need a big punt return. The guy does it all. I mean, he literally has 4.3 breakaway speed. Last year in college, he ran like a 23-mile-an-hour play. Would have been faster than anyone in the whole league.
Yes.
So,
yeah, he's a monster.
This guy's a beast. The Lions won 8 out of 10 last year to end the year. Obviously, final game of the year, we beat Green Bay, sent Aaron Rodgers away crying forever, never have to see him again. And then in 5 of our losses, we lost to the Eagles by 3. We know what the Eagles did. We lost to Minnesota by 4. Minnesota was a 13-win team. Lost to Seattle by 3. Lost to Miami by 4 and the Bills by 3. So that's 5 playoff teams that we lost 4 points or under. So you figure if we just improve a little bit on defense, which I think we did with these signings, I think we'll definitely be a really good team and win our division. Jared Goff, 9 straight games without any interceptions. That is huge. Obviously, the last 10 games, we won 8 of them. Goff can't turn the ball over. Obviously, he's going to have some interceptions. There's going to be some fumbles, but just limit the turnovers. Goff is very underrated if he doesn't turn the ball over. He only has about 70 more passes, and he'll break Rodgers' all-time record for most passes without an interception. I think that the defensive upgrades were really good. Gardner Johnson was a huge surprise. We never get guys like that. I was shocked when I read that. And then we got Cam Sutton from Pittsburgh, Emmanuel Mosley. It's like a totally new defensive backfield. And then with the interior guys, you had Hutchinson last year, 9.5 sacks. We had Houston with 8 sacks. They shattered the rookie record. They had 17.5 combined. I think the combined record for rookies was like 12. We shattered it like midway through. So those guys should only get better. I mean, they should just continue to grow. James Houston was undrafted, or it might have been a 6th-round pick. But anyways, this guy's out of nowhere, and he looks like a stud. So with that being said, I think we're going to go 12-5. I'll just give the losses real quick. I think we lose to the Chiefs game 1. Obviously, I hope we win that game, but come on, it's Mahomes, ring night, and that's a hard ask. So I think we lose to the Chiefs, lose at the Ravens, lose at the Chargers, drop 1 in New Orleans, and then we lose to Denver, and I think we win, sweep our division and go 12-5. That's my take.
I love it. Spoken like a true Detroit Lions fan, giving us the inside details that me and Trevor didn't have on some of those players. So, Trevor, what would you like to add on the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I like Dan Campbell, and I have their record at 11-6. This team has only won more than 9 games twice since 1995. Sorry, Adam. I gave those stats on the Browns the other day. I had to throw in some more stuff. Wait, and there's still some more. The Lions have a legitimate shot at claiming their first division title in 30 years.
1991.
Which is a rare clout for a team that's never won the division and just one playoff victory in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
So I loved watching the Lions last year. I know they missed. I watched a lot of their games because I just thought they were one of the funner teams to watch last year, just because of how their offense clicked. But they had a lot of bad defensive back and defense issues. But y'all went in and did work this off season. I was pretty happy to see what y'all did and built around it. Y'all bringing in Gardner Johnson. That's a huge win too, who just came off an NFC champion Eagles team. So um, I'm gonna keep watching them. Um, I'm really hoping they beat the Chiefs that first game.
Me
Uh,
too.
fingers crossed. Like that's
Me
just
too.
gonna make me want to watch. Like I'm really hoping they just come in and knock that, like beat the Super Bowl winning team and show them what we're made of, and so they built the right team. Even though it's early, I just want them to just come guns running and just take them out quick.
Me
Because if they
too.
win that game, there's nowhere but up. I mean, they're gonna make the playoffs at that point. You know, they got the team, the right people in the right place. So that's my take. I can get more into it. But I am excited to see my boy from Bama put up some numbers this year too. So it's one of the other reasons I'm gonna be watching him,
We
Mr. Gibbs.
we got one of your other boys too, Brian Branch, defensive back. We stole him. This
Yeah,
guy's a stud. I mean, this guy's gonna get playing time right away. We stole him. It was a great draft pick.
yeah,
I agree.
yep.
So I started really, really getting into the Detroit Lions when they were previously on Hard Knocks. And I mean, hearing what's his name speech, the running backs, Jamal Williams' speech was insane. Like that dude made me want to run through a brick wall myself.
Yeah.
And I love Dan Campbell. I mean, the guy is the most if you would want to play for any coach in the NFL, I would want to play for him. I'm the highest, I think, on the team. It looks like because I had them sitting at 13-4, which is crazy. Adam had him at 12. I had him at 13-4. I really think that this is their year. I think the times are changing, and Detroit is the team to beat now. Honestly, in the NFC, I think it's the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Lions now. And a lot of people might think that's a little crazy, but I really think that they got a steal with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has the potential to be the best running back out of that draft class. I know everyone's so high on Bijan Robinson, but I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Like the guy is insanely fast. I mean, people are saying he's not built like a true 3-down back, but that really doesn't matter. Like the way that they're planning on using him at every different, they're going to use him at slot, like he was saying. They're going to do sweeps out of the backfield. He's going to be an insane. He's a PPR cheat code if you play fantasy football. Like he's who I'm targeting in my second round of the draft is Jahmyr Gibbs. And
They're
also,
gonna use. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
They're gonna use him just like when Campbell coached in New Orleans, tight end coach, just like they use Alvin Kamara. That's
Yes,
exactly why we got him. And if
that's
you
exactly what I was telling Trevor.
Alvin
Like
Kamara was
Yeah,
literally top PPR guy for 3-4 years. I mean, and he's faster than Kamara. So just imagine a
he
little
plays
faster than
like Alvin
Alvin Kamara.
Kamara. Like they have the same play style. They look like the same person.
I think
Exactly.
he's quicker. I think he's quicker than
Faster.
Kamara.
He's like
Yeah,
0.2 seconds faster than him. Like Kamara ran like a slower 4.4, and he runs a like 4.3 flat almost. Like the guy's insane. And
I mean the NFL is a faster paced
yep,
football. We'll, but I
speed's
still have
good.
high. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative on it, but we'll see. But yeah, I think he has no reason to do good. Is was it y'all's O line is what, top five? Would
Oh,
you
Yeah,
say
we
your O line's a top?
yeah,
yeah.
top five.
Oh,
We spend the second most money on our whole offensive line out
I'm
of the
pretty
whole
sure that y'all are third in rushing. Y'all are the number 3 ranked rushing
and we
offensive line.
signed David Montgomery. I mean, David Montgomery is a
I was
nice sign.
about to speak on him. So David Montgomery is going in the 7th round of fantasy drafts. And the Detroit Lions had 500 fantasy points between their 2 running backs last season. So David Montgomery is a true steal in drafts in the 7th round because he has 10 touchdown potential. Like he really has 10 touchdown potential because Jahmyr Gibbs is like, I mean, I know we're saying all this stuff about him, but he's not a goal line back. I mean, he's a smaller guy. David Montgomery is going to be their bruiser. He's going to be like the A.J. Dillon to Aaron Jones of this team. So, I mean, if they're inside the 5, David Montgomery has behind that offensive line, he really could see 10 touchdowns this season. He could be a steal in a deeper league for a flex position play. I really like David Montgomery. But also, you got to think y'all have the sun god at receiver, which is kind of awesome. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a monster. I love him.
Of
The
him.
God himself. But that's my personal take. I guess I'm the highest, even though I'm not a Lions fan. I got him at 13-4. Shame on Adam, guys. Shame on Adam.
I don't want to say 16-0 or 17-1 like somebody else I know. I don't want to jinx
Hey,
it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
If I go 12-5, if I win 12-5, that's like popping champagne already. Give me 12 points. Give me a division title. Let's go.
Yeah, Texans are gonna be 17-0. You heard it first. Just kidding.
The best take ever if it actually happened. But thank you all for watching. This is another episode Off the Bench podcast. If you have any comments about anything, be sure to comment below, and we'll try to get your question in the next time. Like and subscribe. We're growing. We just recorded a video 2 days ago. We were at 60 subs, and now we're almost at 70. So we're seeing a lot of growth. We want to say that we appreciate all of you, and we're going to continue to pump out as many videos for you guys as we can. If you have any questions about anything fantasy football related, normal football, basketball, baseball, anything you want to know, just let us know, and we're going to hook you up with answers. But we'll catch you in the next one.